PapaJohns.com.
After a 25-point win against Boston College in the Veterans Classic in Annapolis last Friday, the VCU Rams returned to the Siegel Center looking to go 3-0 to start the season, but standing in their way, the Warriors of Merrimack from the MAC Conference. Join us inside the Siegel Center and welcome courtside. I'm Sean Robertson, along with Ed Nixon, a member of the 2011 Final Four team. VCU in their first two wins have scored at least 80 points. However, Merrimack, Ed, is a team that doesn't like to give up that many points. I'll be interested to hear what you think about this matchup.
Well, we're going to talk about this later, but the big goal is controlling pace for both teams. Now, whoever has the will to control that will probably be the victor in this game.
Guard play will be something to watch out for tonight. And for our player to watch for Merrimack is their Mr. Everything, and that's Adam Bud Clark.
Adam Bud Clark, he's averaging 19 points and 6 assists and 6 rebounds on the season. He's the engine to this team. He has the ultimate green light, and he's deadly from mid-range. He looks to get everybody else involved. Merrimack needs him to have a great game if they want to be successful. For VCU, Phil Russell averaging 18 points, 3 assists on this season. He embodies what it means to be a VCU player. He helps set the tone offensively and defensively, can score on all 3 levels, and is a pesky defender. I cannot wait to watch this matchup.
One of the key matchups to look forward tonight. And now our Carmack's keys to the game, starting with Merrimack.
For Merrimack, they want to limit VCU's three-point opportunities. VCU is averaging 28 three-point attempts per game. If they get hot, it's going to be trouble for the Merrimack Warriors. And they also want to control pace. They want to keep the score under 60. Now, they're going to have a hard time doing that with VCU playing as fast as they do. VCU, on the other hand, they want to limit their turnovers, make sure they get good shots and control the pace of the game. And how they do that? Playing good defense, getting good rebounds, and getting out of transition. This will come down to who will have the better will, and whoever will win this game.
Those are the Carmack's keys to the game. Carmack's, home with a 30-day money-back guarantee. The starting lineups and the opening tip between VCU and Merrimack right after this.
From Chesterfield, number 22.
VCU and Merrimack, the new member of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. And VCU 2-0 on the season off that huge 25-point win against Boston College in the Veterans Classic in Annapolis. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, our entire Rams Unlimited crew. That was the most impressive win on Friday night against the Eagles.
Absolutely. VCU did a really good job of controlling the pace, dominating the rebounding battle, and also just really getting out and being aggressive, hitting their shots, getting in transition. They had 24 points off turnovers, off Boston College's turnovers. So they did a really good job on the defensive end as well.
Here are the starting lineups for Merrimack. The Red Door guys are proud sponsors of the opposing team's starting lineup. They take care of your unwanted property quickly and easily, just like the Rams are about to handle the Warriors. Call the Red Door guys at 804-373-7267 or 804-373-RAMS. Adam Clark will get the starter player to watch for Merrimack, followed by Matt Beck, Devin Savage, Brian Itumnu, and also Sean Trumpner, a grad student from the United Kingdom. For VCU, same lineup as Friday: Phillip Russell, Jack Clark, Max Shoga, Christian Furman in the post, and Joe Bamisile, who recorded his 1,000th career point in the win against Bellarmine on opening night, as the Warriors control the opening tip.
Now, I really am excited to see this matchup between Bud Clark and Phil Russell. Two small guards that like to get after it.
Clark, the Northeast Conference Rookie of the Year last season, got Russell up in the air and hits his first shot.
Smooth. Good patience there.
Merrimack was in the NEC last year before moving to the MAC this offseason. 2-0 Warriors lead. Nice look inside to Clark, who got fouled as he tried to bring it home, and Trumper got called for it.
Good find there by Max Shoga. And we know Merrimack's defense is very unique. It's good to see VCU find an open look early on in the possession.
Coach Oderman talked about that. He used that adjective, and when we got a chance to talk to Joe Gallo, he said the same thing. It's very unique, but it's almost like a morph type defense. We tried to get him to give us a true explanation, and he wouldn't budge when you asked him about a 2-3 matchup zone.
Yeah, it's not a matchup zone. It's a morphing zone. So the same look you may get now, you won't get later.
Clark makes one of two. as VCU came in to tonight's game shooting just 67% from the line this year.
And they have so much talent on this team. It's kind of odd that they start off so slow from the free throw line.
Remember last year they had a school record 78% from the stripe. Now a switch on Clark with Shoga guarding him. And Clark has hit 2 in a row.
And if you're a VCU fan, you do not like to see that. That's their number one guy, and he's getting into a rhythm and into a groove early.
Scored 19 in the win against Vermont last Saturday, and he has all 4 of Merrimack's points. Pass from Clark knocked away, and Merrimack has it.
And that's something you don't want to do if you're VCU. You don't want to turn the ball over against this Merrimack defense.
Now Russell has Clark this time. And stolen by Clark. Up ahead to Bamisile, who caught up with it and brings it home.
And what we're watching right now, we're watching two teams try to control the pace and play their style of basketball.
You did say that at the top of the broadcast. Both teams want to control the pace in tonight's game.
Absolutely. Now here's my concern with Bud Clark. He's going to be having the ball in his hands majority of the game. How is that going to affect him going against this VCU pressure?
A missed 3 by Savage and a rebound by Clark. And he found Clark. Splits that zone out to Russell for 3. And there's that crack in the zone that you can find if you're patient offensively.
Absolutely. And what a luxury for VCU to have a power forward who can do the pump fake, be patient, get into the paint, and find the open shooter.
He said at Media Day, speaking of Clark, he could play all 5, he could defend all 5, but he's a true 4.
Absolutely.
VCU has their first lead of the night, 6-4 on Russell's three-point shot. He scored 20 in the win against Boston College Friday. Good hands by Shoga, and a foul on Beck.
Good active hands. VCU wants to do that all night. Disrupt their offense, force turnovers, get out in transition. As we watch that dunk by Bamisile.
Bringing it home. Rams with a 2-point lead. And looking at that zone. Bamisile cut off. And Russell draws a second foul on Beck. That is a huge foul on Beck, who came in averaging 11 points a game and was that second option that can really shoot the 3-ball exceptionally well.
Absolutely, and they're going to need him on the floor if they want to have success on the offensive end.
And as of right now, Coach Gallo from Merrimack will keep Beck on the floor with those 2 fouls. Here is Russell, had his shot blocked by Savage. Clark on the other end, blocked by Furman. And Clark threw it away.
Good idea by Mr. Clark there to get out in transition, not allowing Merrimack's defense to set up, just a little too anxious there.
They have to say Bud Clark for Merrimack and Jack Clark for VCU. How are you liking the defense against Bud Clark right now?
I mean, they got to keep trying to defend him. The guy's getting basically where he wants to go on the court, and he's being very patient. He's not forcing any action right now.
And Jack Clark just got called for his first and VCU's first team foul. And off the bench is Brandon Jennings, the freshman from Richmond, to replace Russell. And it seems like in the first 3 games right now, he has gone with a freshman right off the bench. It was Hill on opening night. They with Bamboye against Boston College, and tonight they go with Jennings as Merrimack was called for a travel.
And that shows the trust that Coach Odom has in Jennings to put him in immediately. Not the 8th person off the bench, but the first. That shows that Brandon Jennings' work and practice is paying off.
4 minutes gone by in the first half, and VCU leading by 2. Furman's tip-in was no good, and Savage the rebound. Merrimack has not scored in over 2.5 minutes, trailing by a deuce. Good defense by Jennings, and he knocked it off of Bud Clark.
A little success on the defensive end from the freshman there.
And that brings us to our first media timeout with 15:40 left in the half, and VCU with a 2-point lead over Merrimack. 15:40 left in the first half, and VCU with a 6-4 advantage over Merrimack. And we were talking before we went to our first media timeout on the defense. VCU led by Ryan Odom in his second year with the Rams, is 11th season overall with 196 wins, 26 of those here at VCU, and off to a 2-0 start. The defense by Brandon Jennings against Bud Clark. That was a real good sign for him right off the bench.
Absolutely, and when you're playing a player like Bud Clark, who's 5'10" on a very good day, you want to play him with some length, and Brandon Jennings has a lot of length.
Clark maneuvering down the lane, and Trumper the rebound as Merrimack will look to tie it. Clark being harassed by the 6'4" Jennings. Played his high school ball right in the area at St. Christopher's. Savage for 3, and he gives Merrimack a 1-point lead.
Brandon Jennings did a really good job fighting over that screen. However, it looks like Coach Odom was arguing about a moving screen that led to Savage being open.
Savage, a career 36% three-point shooter, as Merrimack wanted a travel on Bamisile. The floater is true.
Merrimack's defense wants to take away threes and force you to score over the bigs. Luckily for VCU, they have a guy like Joe Bamisile who can score in all facets of the game.
He's a 3-level scorer.
Absolutely.
He's got 4 so far to lead the Rams as they're back in front by 1. Savage over Bamisile.
Ill-advised shot.
With a hand in his face.
And that's just for Merrimack. That's just a shot you don't need.
Don't want to give VCU extra possessions. Good head fake by Shulga, and he draws a 3-shot foul.
What a smart play.
Ty Dorsett, the freshman from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, guilty of the foul.
And good job by Max Shulga by relocating to that corner. When you have a player driving baseline, you have to have a bailout, and usually it's the corner.
Shulga didn't really have a great scoring night against Boston College, just 9 points, but he did everything else. He led the team in rebounds with 10, played great defense against the Eagles, especially against Donald Hand Jr. all night.
Those are signs of a true hooper. You know, you have people who are scorers, but then you have hoopers who can play all aspects of the game and can contribute to the game. 10 rebounds against Boston College, 6 assists against Boston College. So that shows you Max Shulga is the real deal.
And leads the team right now in rebounding at 7.5. But another concern, that's his 4th missed free throw this season.
Well, maybe it's early season jitters.
Might be. He missed only 20 all of last season, but made 2 of 3 on that trip, and VCU is ahead by 3. Michael Bell in the lineup for VCU for the first time, wearing number 8. And an offensive foul, that moving screen that you talked about, Ed, a couple of minutes ago. Trumper get called for his second.
Absolutely. And when you have a screen like that or a call like that happen, you kind of have to blame the ball handler. You have to allow the forward or whoever to get set and then use the screen.
So already Beck and Trumper, the 2 starters, with 2 fouls each. Coach Gallo told us this week they may go 9 deep tonight. May have to go deeper in the bench as the floater by Jennings was off the mark. And we're going to get a tie-up.
I tell you what,
favors Merrimack.
I tell you what, Brandon Jennings just has a knack for the ball. He just knows where it's going to come off. Following his miss, able to get a tie-up, still VCU basketball.
Savage back in for Merrimack, and for the first time, David Murray, wearing number 15, a grad transfer from out of Connecticut College, a Division III program, who Coach Gallo absolutely loves. He raved about him when we spoke to him earlier this week. Bamisile had it taken away. Still loose. Bamisile has it. Shot clock's at 4. Knocked out of bounds by Dorsett. And 2 to shoot for VCU.
Both teams getting after it. Very scrappy.
A lot of active hands in that zone as well.
Absolutely.
Jennings got to hoist it up in time. It did graze the rim.
Bud Clark might have got away with a foul there on that 3 attempt.
Merrimack with a chance to tie with the 3. Armandus Plantowskis wearing number 41. And for the first time for Merrimack, the rebound by Jennings. Shoga gave up the 3, and Dorsett got called for his second.
Matt Shoga just knows how to draw some contact, I tell you what.
So 3 key players for Merrimack already with 2 fouls. Beck comes back in with his 2 as Bud Clark gets a short breather.
Absolutely, and these are key moments for Merrimack. They're going to have to hold VCU they're going to have to hold them from not getting able to have a run with Bud out of the game.
And Phillip Russell, who checked back in, drops it in from the free throw line. It's a 5-point VCU lead, their largest of the night. And the switch of the ball handler with Dorsett bringing it up against Jennings.
And they're just now getting their offense initiated with only like 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Brandon Jennings again.
Right to the rim, and will draw the foul on Plantowskis. And that will be his first, and that'll send Jennings to the free throw line after our media timeout, the under 12 timeout. As Joe Bamisile said, give me the rock. I want it more. Bud Clark said, not so fast. As VCU leads by 5. VCU with a 5-point lead. During the break, one of the fans here at the Siegel Center was able to hit a layup, a free throw, a 3-point shot, and we've got the footage of this half-court shot that was open. The bank was open.
The bank was open. Free pizza for everyone. Yay. I feel, he must feel like Oprah right now.
That's right. You get a pizza. You get a pizza. And I saw the 2 officials. They were applauding. I think maybe they get free pizza. That's Jerry Heater, Patrick O'Connell, and Chuck McCoy. 2 of them. I know Heater was on the freshman from St. Christopher's High School here in the Richmond area.
And we talked on the break about his impact in this game already. 1 steal, 1 forced turnover, going to the line for 2, offensive rebound.
And Merrimack gets the possession after the missed free throw. And he's also, in 2 games, and I know it's a small sample size, but out of the 3 freshmen, the true freshmen that are playing for Coach Odom this year, he's played the most minutes. He's playing over 20 minutes a game.
25 minutes against Boston College.
And he just got a foul there. So he's doing all the right things. He's learned, like you said in game 1, he's learning from some veteran leadership with Zeb and Max and Joe and Phil. Learning from those guys, and you can see it either at practice or also in the game.
Right. The biggest thing for Jennings and Hill and Luke is to be a sponge. You have so much experience and leadership ahead of you. Be a sponge and pick up what you can.
Merrimack has turned it over 6 times in the last 7+ minutes. And a good tip by Shoga to give it to Jennings off the Savage 3-point miss. There's that 2-3 zone that can morph into a matchup zone. Good ball movement by VCU and a kick by Merrimack and a reset to 20 on the shot clock. But Clark back in for Merrimack.
And I love the ball movement by VCU. Michael Bell has to be aware. KYP, know your personnel. Luke likes to throw it up to the rim. You don't throw a big man something down to his knees.
Here's Bamboye in, wearing number 9. Breaks the double. Jennings tapped it to Shoga to retain possession. Shoga with 5 to shoot. Jennings left open. And the rebound to Beck. Did you like how they ran that offense on the zone?
Wow, great recovery by Bamboye.
Showing that long wingspan out on the perimeter. And Clark stole it from Merrimack. Nice pass to Beck and scores.
Good hands by Clark right there.
Clark had 3 steals in the win against Vermont on Saturday. He's got 1 here tonight, and the lead is at 4 for VCU.
Now, what I would like to see is Michael Bell be a little bit more aggressive when he catches the ball there in the high post. Turn and attack is basically a one-on-one situation for you. When you hesitate there, you're slowing down the offense.
And if you're the defense, that's what you actually want to see right there. If you're the offensive player, second guessing, maybe questioning what you see.
Absolutely.
11 to shoot for VCU as they lead 13-9. Shot clock's at 5. Nice pass from Russell to Bamboye. And no whistle. Oh, there was a whistle. Itumnu got called for the foul, his first. I didn't hear it. How loud it was here at the Siegel Center. And Bell was right there to tip it in if it wasn't a whistle. But Luke Bamboye, a freshman from out of London, played his high school ball in Arizona. And swishes home that first free throw. He started his high school career at Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Baltimore, and then transferred from Bella Vista Prep in Phoenix to Arizona Compass Prep in Chandler, Arizona.
That was a lot of schools. Did you say Mount Carmel?
Yeah. Yeah. Mount Carmel in Baltimore.
Ooh, and that's a tough foul.
And the backcourt is, if that's Russell, that's going to be his first. It is his first. 3 on VCU, but yeah, he went from Baltimore. He went from basically England to Baltimore, then out west to Arizona. Good hands by Russell.
Good hustle.
Terrence
Good
Hill.
hustle by Russell.
There you go. Terrence Hill, number 6, in for the first time for VCU. Here's Russell. Little pass to Bamisile is off his hands, and it'll stay with VCU. Maybe a little too unselfish by Russell. So VCU now has Hill, Russell, Bamboye, Clark, and Bamisile.
VCU had a little bit of trouble getting the ball in.
Clark with the deflection. And Bamisile could not stay in bounds on the deflection. It'll go to Merrimack. 4th turnover for VCU.
Great job by Merrimack, making it hard. VCU is making 1 cut. You're going to have to make 2 if you want to get open against this defense.
When you face a zone, how many passes do you want to kind of get around against a zone as active as Merrimack?
I mean, I don't think there's a set number. You just want to make sure you get them. You want to get the ball hopping so you can get the opportunity. Once you get the opportunity, you just got to be able to step in and knock it down.
Good defense by VCU, forcing that miss as they're up 6, as we're coming up on 9 minutes to go in the half. Nice pass to Russell from Clark. Shot clock under 10. Clark on the move. Bamisile with 1 to shoot. Russell gets it off
Great patience.
They're going to
no,
say
it
it's
calls-
shot clock violation. But they will review it. They will review it to see if he did beat the clock.
That was pretty close. I thought it was great patience by VCU's offense to make the extra pass. Let's see.
The other question would be whether or not that would be a 4-point play.
Right.
Because Russell, I thought, got fouled. We'll watch it again on the replay and look at the clock.
Ooh, that's close.
That ball has to be completely out of Russell's hand. Good job by our crew to make sure we can see.
Ooh,
No,
yeah.
that's. I think he's out.
I think it's out. I think it's good. I think it's good.
I think it's out.
Okay.
One of the officials came to us and said to say they were just going to review as to whether or not Russell beat the shot clock, not if there was going to be a foul on top of it. The fans close to us are asking Ed if indeed it beat the clock, and Nixon gives the signal of it did.
It looks.
But I don't see stripes on your shirt,
I
Ed,
know.
so I'm not.
It's not my call. It's not my call. However, it looks as if Russell was able to get it off.
It was very close. Jerry Heater was right there on the side of where Russell shot that three. And he immediately showed a shot clock violation, but watch it again. No, it's out. It's out of his hand unless that left index finger is still on it.
Oh, that's
Otherwise, that's out.
3-point basket.
They do count the basket. Good job by the crew. Good job by our fourth official, Ed Nixon, to say indeed it did beat the clock.
It's good. But with that being said, that's excellent defense by Merrimack. That's excellent defense. Just better offense by VCU.
That extends this run for VCU. It's a 12-2 run over the last 6 minutes of the first half, and they have a 9-point lead on Merrimack. Warriors have 3 players with at least 2 fouls.
And VCU was really making Merrimack work on this offensive end, trying to find a good look.
Beck has it. Shot clock's under 10.
Ooh,
got away with a walk
right there.
Patauskis inside to Etumnu, who had it blocked by Bamboye, and that's a shot clock violation.
Great defense by VCU. I thought Merrimack played around the perimeter a little bit too much right there. Shot clock ran down on him.
Talk so good about Merrimack's defense in that unique zone that's not a matchup zone. VCU's right up there amongst the very best as far as defensive efficiency since Odom has been at VCU. Shot clock is under 10. Clark, a good look for 3. And saved by Trumper. Big drought for Merrimack as Clark tries to end it and does so with his 6-point.
And it looked like Etumnu kept him balanced with his head as he got that one off.
That's not illegal, right? Using him as a crutch, so to speak.
I guess not.
Here's Clark. And that high post is wide open in that zone if you can take advantage of it.
Absolutely. The high post is wide open. That's why you have to be aggressive in that position.
Rams back up by 9, 20-11. Nice pass to Trumper inside. Good cut and good look by Clark. Under 7 to go in the first half. Offensive foul on Bamisile.
I understand the call. Look more of a bang-bang play. Nonetheless, offensive foul.
Bamisile's fourth on the team with 6:49 to go in the first half. And VCU leading by 7. Back after this. 6:49 left in the first half, and VCU has a 7-point lead over Merrimack. The Warriors from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. This is their first year in the MAC after last season playing in the NEC under head coach Joe Gallo in his 9th year at his alma mater. He was also an assistant with the Warriors and has had a lot of championship experience when Merrimack was in Division II.
And if you're a winner, it translates in all levels.
They were the first team to win a conference title in their first year as a D1 or under the D1 membership. They did that in the 1920 campaign. They won the NEC regular season championship that year. And they've also been to the Division II tournament 3 times when they were at that level. Here is Beck with nearly 10 to shoot. The double comes and Jack Clark took it away. Here's Russell pulling up for 3. Jack Clark an offensive rebound. And they're going to get an offensive foul, a block on Jack Clark, his second.
I like the pull-up 3 by Russell. However, I thought he could have got a better shot there. Get to the paint, force the issue. That three-point shot you can get at any time in the shot clock.
Jennings comes back in to replace Clark with his 2 fouls. And for Merrimack, Beck with 2 fouls, Trumper with 2 fouls. And that's it. Those are the only 2 that are in foul trouble for Merrimack. The double screen on Jennings. Here's Clark fading away, and he is feeling it right now. He's got 8 in the first half.
And he's just so patient using those screens, weaving and snaking those screens, get into an open spot, pulling up from the mid-range.
Scored 19 in the win against Vermont. And the Warriors are down by 5. Jennings in the lane, and they're going to get Beck with his 3rd personal foul.
And I love to see Brandon Jennings be so aggressive on the offensive end, putting the pressure on these defenders, especially the ones in foul trouble.
Beck will sit for the final 5:45 of the first half, in all likelihood with his 3 fouls, and Jennings now with a 1-and-1 at the stripe. Coach Odom said this week he has proven against the guys he practiced against and also played against in the games against Boston College and also Bellarmine that he's deserving of the time he gets on the floor. He's averaging over 20 minutes a game so far this season.
Absolutely, and that's remarkable, especially for a true freshman, and especially in today's time.
Again, that double screen for Clark.
Oh, boy.
Nice ball handling there. 3-pointer by Savage is no good, and Shoga saves it for the Rams. Russell has the switch on Itumnu.
Good patience by VCU's offense.
Shot clock under 10. Bamisile has it with 5. Guess that's how you can beat a zone. Just shoot over the top of it.
Guarding a player like Joe Bamisile, you have to crowd him. I don't care if you're in zone, you're in matchup zone, you're a man-to-man. You have to crowd him. Otherwise, he's athletic enough and big enough to shoot over the top.
So now Brandon Jennings got called for his second, and he will have to take a seat. And Michael Bell will come in. If there's a strength on this Rams lineup, even with the absence of Zeb Jackson, and we'll talk about him throughout, is the depth with this year's team.
Absolutely. And that is when Zeb Jackson comes back, Coach Odom's going to have a good problem.
Absolutely.
Finding minutes for everybody.
Good hands by Bamisile, and he forces a turnover as it goes off of Savage's hand.
I think VCU might have got away with one right there.
Ten turnovers so far in the first half for the Warriors, who trailed by 10. Bamisile again left open. 5 in a row scored by Joe Bamisile, who now has 9 to lead the Rams.
And if Joe Bamisile is going to be able to flash to the middle and just turn and shoot, Merrimack's going to have a big problem.
7-0 VCU run. Russell harassing Clark. No 5-second. There it is.
5 seconds.
Coach Gallo is looking at an official saying I was calling a timeout, but nobody could hear him. Maybe not as loud as Bellarmine's, the season opener against Bellarmine, but it is loud, and the officials didn't hear the timeout call by Gallo.
That's twice noise has impacted this game.
Rams with a lead of 12. Inside 4 minutes. Nice kick out to Russell, who hits the triple.
Now this is where Merrimack has to be careful. The defense is getting a little bit laxed. VCU is able to penetrate and find these gaps, and they're kicking out the shooters.
A 10-0 VCU run has pushed the lead to 15. Good hands again by Shoga.
Good find.
Plantowskis for 3.
Ooh.
Long rebound to Russell. Shoga got fouled by Plantowskis, and that's his second. And VCU free throws when we come back, as we're at our under 4 media timeout. 3:12 to go in the opening 20 minutes, and VCU leading by 15. Ram fans having a good time here at the Siegel Center as the VCU Rams, looking to go 3-0, have a 15-point lead over Merrimack due to a 10-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. And Ed Nixon, the 3-point shooting with Bamisile and also Russell shooting, almost willing themselves to shoot Merrimack out of their zone, but they probably won't get them out of it.
They will not get Merrimack out of the zone. They ran zone for 9 years, for 32 games a season, 40 minutes every game. So I don't think they're going to shoot them out of it. However, Merrimack is going to have to make an adjustment and morph to limit these three-point opportunities for VCU.
The Rams are 4 of 9 from 3 so far. Merrimack 1 of 7 from distance. As Max Shoga, who only scored 9 in the win against Boston College Friday night, connects on 2. They beat Boston College by 25 points, and your leading scorer had just 9 points.
That says a lot about VCU's depth and their ability to score in a multitude of ways. Great offense right there. That's what they needed. Got to hit that shot.
Another miss by Savage. 1 of 8 from 3.
But that was a great play out of a timeout for Merrimack. However, Savage was just unable to execute and knock the shot down. But they're going to need more of that because they have 15 points with 2.5 minutes left in this half.
And a steal by Merrimack. Savage left open again for 3. And another rebound for VCU. They have controlled the glass so far, +4 in the first half. Russell draws the foul on Bud Clark. That's his first. And double bonus time for VCU at the line with 2:14 to go. And Phillip Russell, who had a team-high 20 against Boston College Friday night, is at the line. That's that other scorer. I mean, as if they need more scores. You get a guy who was 6th man of the year from the WAC, scoring 20 and averaging 18 a night this year.
A tremendous pickup for Coach Odom and the VCU Rams. And it's not just his scoring that he brings. He brings spice. He brings a little attitude. But most importantly, he brings that dog that VCU desperately needed.
He's the player that you will love as a teammate but would despise as an opponent.
Absolutely.
1 of 2 at the line for VCU.
And I got to give Merrimack some credit here. They're doing a really good job on cleaning up the defensive boards. A lot of times VCU's getting their hand on the ball, but not quite able to get the offensive rebound.
Tough shot by Clark. And they're going to get Russell with a foul on the box out. And that's his second. So foul trouble aplenty for both teams tonight, as that is the 3rd Ram with at least 2 fouls. Jennings, Russell, and Clark, each with 2. As Russell was trying to get an explanation from Jerry Heater. And Heater was just saying, calm down. Getting a little too hot in the Siegel Center.
Player to player, that has to be one of the most frustrating things when the ref just tells you, relax. I'm trying to win, ref. Excuse me.
I'm just trying to get an explanation of what did I do wrong. And they got no points out of that on the missed free throw. Sugar in and out on the 3. Ball on the floor. Plantowskis grabbed it. There's Trumper inside against Furman, and he'll draw a foul on Christian Furman, his first.
Again, you see how VCU almost corralled that offensive board, but somehow Merrimack came away with it. They're a feisty team. They just have to figure out how to score on VCU's defense.
Coach Gallo told us this week, he said if we can keep this game around the 60-point mark, we got a really good shot. Well, VCU has passed that halfway mark with 33 in the first half.
In a relatively slow start.
Yeah. That broke a 13-0 run, that free throw by Trumper. That spanned over 4 minutes. And Trumper hits both. Transfer from Franklin Pierce.
I like the physicality and toughness that Trumper brings to the Merrimack Warriors.
He's called the Swiss Army knife on this team.
He does a little bit of everything. Rebound, can shoot the ball.
Inside 90 seconds and 10 to shoot for Shoga and the offense of VCU. Ball was kicked, saved, and here's the Warriors. And it was taken away by Jennings.
Good hands
by Clark
Jennings.
is going to get called for his second. That looked like a frustration foul there by Bud.
And I believe it was. He really wants to win this game. However, can we just talk about the good hands and the length by Jennings Pauls? I think he does a really good job of just being in the right place at the right time and making the offensive team turn it over.
Next time we get that stat sheet over here, we got to see how many steals that Jennings has created so far in this game. He's got 4 points off from the line. He's played a little over 9 minutes in this first half and has been an active defender against Clark so far.
I think he's guarded Clark the best so far.
That long wingspan has proved to be vital for him against Clark. And now another switch defensively is now Shoga has the assignment on with under a minute to go.
And that's what you want to do. That's what I guess Ryan Odom wants to do, is give Clark a different look all the time.
Savage for 3, and Bell the rebound.
I know Savage can shoot the ball. I know he can. But I just don't think that's what they need right now.
A foul underneath as Bamisile will go to the stripe. Savage is 1 for 7 from the line so far. And Etumnu is called for his second. So Clark with 2, Beck with 3, Etumnu with 2, Trumper with 2, Plantowskis with 2 fouls. And this is a unit that does not go deep in their bench. 9 maybe in a game.
It's going to be interesting in the second half. If VCU can come out and put some pressure on the defense, draw more fouls on key players, it's going to force Merrimack to go deeper in their bench. And I don't know if those guys are going to be ready for this type of smoke.
1 of 2 by Bamisile, and the lead is at 19 as Merrimack has not made a field goal in over 5.5 minutes. And Coach Gallo will use his use it 30-second timeout with 24.1 seconds to go. This defense, we talked about Merrimack throughout the course of the first half, but VCU's defense holding Merrimack to just 17 points and 33% shooting. Kudos to Odom in that group.
Absolutely. Stifling. Now, I watched the Merrimack versus Vermont game. Clark is their engine.
Yeah.
He's their key. Now, have other guys got some open looks? Yes. But they're going to need Clark to go a little bit. They're going to need him to do a little bit more if they want to be successful. And they're going to have to take good shots. I hate to piggyback on this again, but Savage, he tries to do a snatch back, step back three, and he hasn't been able to hit a catch and shoot three. You have to find a rhythm before you take a rhythm shot like that. And I love the timeout, and hopefully they can set something up and get an actually good look at the basket and try to cut into this lead by VCU.
Well, let me ask you this as a guy that filled it up here at the Stew. When a guy like Savage is struggling at just 1 of 7, do you try to shoot yourself out of that as a shooter, or do you try to do the other things to get yourself involved offensively?
Well, they're going to need him to score, right? So what I would suggest is drive the ball, try to get to the line. Either get to the basket, see the ball go through the net, get fouled, go to the free throw line, knock a couple down, see the ball go through, gain your confidence back.
And a steal by Bamisile off the inbound, and the finish. Spinny Rooney, and then the finish. And it's a 21-point lead. One last shot coming from Merrimack.
And that is not what Coach drew up.
And
another turnover. Oh, my goodness. This is going downhill for Merrimack really fast.
They showed the trap with Furman up top with Shoga as Clark stepped on the midcourt stripe, and now Coach Odom will use his use it or lose it 30-second timeout with 6.5 to go. You mentioned it has gone from bad to worse in the last 10 seconds.
I mean, just an ill-advised pass. And I know he probably thought that Joe Bamisile couldn't get that, but Joe Bamisile added 4 inches to his vertical, and along with having super long arms, go for the steal. You reach, I teach, dunk. And then they force another turnover, giving them another opportunity to add to this lead.
Not only did he gain 4 inches on his vertical leap, he added 20 pounds of muscle, had his vegan diet, he's been doing that a lot, but also got in that weight room with Coach Bruce and added 20 pounds of muscle.
Have you ever tried to go vegan?
No.
I tried pescatarian.
How did it go?
It didn't go at all. It might have lasted a day.
I don't know. In our profession, I don't know how many broadcasters go vegan. It's hard. It's hard to do. Not saying it's impossible, but I think it's hard to do. Shoga with an opportunity. Here's Jennings. Good if it goes. As it goes off the heel of the rim, and that's how the first 20 minutes will come to an end. As VCU holds Merrimack to just 33% shooting and 1 of 10 from behind the arc in the first half. Phillip Russell getting the love from the fans at the Stew. Young and old appreciating the effort by the Rams as they lead 38-17 at the break. Halftime activities from the Stew coming up right after this on Rams Unlimited. About to begin the second half here at the Siegel Center with VCU leading by 21. Tonight, Puritan Cleaners is a proud sponsor of the VCU game against Merrimack. Puritan Cleaners encourages youth to donate coats this month at any Puritan Cleaners location for the Coats for Kids drive that took place tonight here at the Stew. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, our entire crew here at the Siegel Center, led by Director Ian Jett. Second half begins with Merrimack controlling the tip, or controlling possession with the starting fives for both on the floor, to include Matt Beck for the Warriors, who has 3 fouls.
And for this half, I think Merrimack has to do a really good job of executing a half-court offense as they get a foul there. But they're going to have to do a better job of executing and running their plays hard, setting good screens, and getting good looks at the basket this second half, and also limiting their fouls. If they can't continue to put VCU to the line.
They were in the penalty early as VCU shot 19 free throws in the first half. They were 14 of 19 from the line. Merrimack was just 2 of 3 from the stripe in the opening 20 minutes as Trumper misses the first. Mentioned a transfer from Franklin Pierce, played in 80 games, averaged 19 points last season, which was a career high, and as a career 35% three-point shooter as well.
He hasn't been able to really get any clean looks. Well, neither has anybody outside of Clark.
And Clark had to create that on his own.
Absolutely. Now for VCU, they have to continue what they've been doing. I mean, playing stingy defense, unselfishly attacking the zone, which they're doing a really good job at.
Extra passing, and that's taken away by Trumper. Up ahead to Clark, fades away over Shoga, doesn't get the home bounce on the road, and the rebound to Clark. Left Bamisile open underneath.
Good find.
Bamisile has a game-high 14. Russell also had 12 in the first half in 15 minutes and was 3 of 4 from 3. Clark led the way for 8 points against the Warriors and now draws another foul, as that looks like Furman is called for his second.
I tell you what, Bud Clark is one crafty young man. Just the way he manipulates the screens, gets to certain spots in the paint. I never seen somebody on a fast break take a step back and shoot a 10-foot jump shot. I've never seen it. But he's hit all his mid-ranges so far, so I don't blame him for taking it.
First team preseason All-MAC performer. And this is coming off of last year where he was second team All-Northeastern Conference, was the Rookie of the Year, and made the All-Rookie team, as he led all first-year players in scoring in the Northeastern Conference before they moved to the MAC. He's got 9, checking now 10, as he once again scored in double figures, his 26th career double-digit scoring game.
It's very impressive that he plays such an experienced game as a sophomore. You know, you don't really see that.
And then the amount of the amount that he has to carry. You know, he's carrying a lot on both ends of the floor for Merrimack.
Absolutely. Now I wonder how effective he would be if he didn't have to. I imagine it'd be even more effective.
Look at Russell creating and scoring. 14 from the grad transfer from UT Arlington. A 22-point VCU lead, as now Trumper is trying to create some stuff himself and draws the 3rd foul on Jack Clark.
And Trumper's doing a really good job of getting downhill and getting contact and getting to the free throw line. Trying to soften up VCU's stingy defense.
I mentioned the numbers when he was at Franklin Pierce. Averaged 19 points last year, shot 45% from the field. As he missed the first free throw, he shot 87% from the line last year while at Franklin Pierce. And think about this, from the time he was there, he started averaging just 4 points a game. His last year, he finished at 19.
That says a lot for his work ethic and his stick-to-itiveness. I love that for players. And now to go to D1 is impressive.
Coach Gallo said everyone loves to play with him, and everyone wishes to have a guy like him on the team. Bamisile, nice look to Shoga. Had just 4 points in the first half. Looking for 7. Can't hit the 3.
I think Joe Bamisile's playing with a little bit of fire right there. With not playing off 2 feet, making these passes. He turned the ball over earlier in the half. If he continues to do so, I think it's going to, there we go. A 2-foot stop. That's what I like to see.
Furman with the jump hook off the window. That was his first field goal attempt in this game. And that's coming off a 12-point performance against Boston College on Friday. Wild attempt there by Itumnu. And here's Bamisile.
Beck made a business decision right there and said, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out.
Now I think Jerry Hester is going to call a tech. He showed the signal of a T. Now back to that dunk by Bamisile, showing off that 46-inch vertical leap. Jerry Hester was talking to Russell, but he showed a technical signal, the T signal. But now I guess they're going to wave that off.
What happened?
I don't know, on the inbound, maybe Russell hit it out of bounds.
A delay of game warning is usually assessed then.
We'll try to get an explanation on that first timeout at the under 16 mark. VCU with a 25-point lead.
Look at
Jennings with good hands and off of Savage.
This kid Jennings is just he's just impressive. And as a coach, you really have to appreciate having a guy like that who's completely bought into the system and does whatever the team needs in order to win.
And he's only a freshman and will only get better. Nice kick out. Nice pass inside to Furman. Didn't get his own tip.
And I think if Furman wants to be as good as I know he wants to be, those are the buckets he has to have. He's gonna have 2 feet in the paint all times, drop off passes exactly like that. He has to be prepared to catch the ball and go finish.
And they're gonna get Russell with a foul as he tried to front Trumper. Third team foul for VCU, and that brings us to our under 16 media timeout with VCU leading by 25. .49 left in the second half, and VCU with a 46-21 lead over Merrimack. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, remember the 2011 Final Four team. Looks like VCU on their way. I know it's a lot of time left, but on their way possibly to go to 3-0 on this year before Saturday's game against Loyola of Maryland.
I think we're safe to say. I know what it means. It's still a lot of time left.
I'm going to let the players say that.
It's still a lot of time left to play. But usually in college basketball, if you dig yourself this big of a hole, you can call it a night.
Beck gets a clean look for 3. Rattled out. Bamisile the rebound. And good hands by Clark on the backside. And a travel. 17 turnovers for Merrimack here tonight.
I know that just has to be crushing. You think you have an opportunity to get out and run, turn it right back over.
Well, there's one thing about Merrimack, they will not quit. They're going to play that 2-3 morph zone throughout. Will communicate and try not to give up too many easy baskets. Here's Furman in the paint. Rebound to Trumper.
Now, I like what VCU's doing, being patient. And that's a good look. That is a good look for Furman to catch it 2 feet in the paint to go for the turnaround hook.
The double comes by Furman, and the arrow favors VCU on the tie-up.
And the Merrimack Warriors just cannot get anything going.
Shooting just 29% from the field, and that's their 4th turnover in the last nearly 3 minutes.
And Clark had 8 points in the first half, only 2 so far in this half. He's gonna need to get cooking if they want to be competitive in this game.
Bamisile and Russell, they have combined to score 30 of VCU's 46 points. Russell has it against Trumper. Shot clock is under 10. Long 3 by Shoga. And
look who
Jennings
comes
races
up
it
with
down.
it.
Yep. Russell for 3. Trumper the rebound. Had good looks from distance, couldn't convert. Here's Clark. Caught in the air and found Trumper up top.
The length of Jennings gives Clark a hard time.
Nice backdoor cut. Dorset had his shot partially blocked. Nice outlet by Shoga to Bamisile. And he got fouled by Plantowskis.
Those are scary plays. Those are very scary plays. And shout out to the Peppers and the Ramley for fooling Beck, or excuse me, Plantowskis into thinking he had to shoot that shot. He had 8 seconds left on the clock.
That happened Friday night as we look at Plantowskis' foul. Got Bamisile on the arm, but that happened Friday night against Boston College. That got the Eagles to take a quicker shot than they should have.
Absolutely. It's a trick. It's a trick that you have to be prepared for when you come into the stoop. And VCU fans do a really good job traveling, so you just have to be prepared for it in general.
That was almost like a home game on the campus of Navy as Fats Phillips, the Verona product from here in Richmond, as Bamisile would take a seat with 17 points to lead all scorers. A 26-point VCU lead with Dorsett bringing the ball up against Jennings. Here's Clark in the lane, had it blocked by Bell. Nice no-look by Jennings, who lost his footing. And VCU maintains possession. Jennings is called for a travel.
VCU is being so unselfish with the basketball that they're not taking the shots that are given to them.
The 11th Ram turnover tonight.
Great
And
hands by
almost a steal by Sugar.
Good hands.
That is a notable difference with Max Sugar and this year is how he has played defense, especially the passing lanes.
I mean, they are getting back to the havoc, quote-unquote, style of basketball, pressing 94 feet for 40 minutes.
And that's coming from a Shaka Smart havoc disciple.
Yeah.
Shot clock was at 10 for Clark, who hits again. He's 5 of 10 from the field and now has a dozen. Dangerous pass to Jennings, and he's fouled. And they're going to get Plantowskis. He becomes the first player for either team in the danger zone. That's his 4th personal foul. He was one of those key contributors coming off the bench. Coach Gallo maybe goes 3, maybe 4 guys deep in the bench. And Sugar shoots for 3. Stays in play as it hit the top of the backboard, and here comes Clark.
That's probably been the easiest look Max has had all night.
Savage still can't hit from the outside. Here's Russell into the lane and got fouled. And they're going to call that on Murray. The grad transfer from Connecticut College whistled for his first. And the 3rd on the team. Savage 1 of 8 from 3 tonight. And this is a good 3-point shooter. He's a career 35% shooter. But just can't find it tonight.
Sometimes it's not going to be your night. And we talked about it. When Max Sugar didn't have the offense going against Boston College, he found another way to impact the game. And that's what Savage has to do right now. Your 3-point isn't going, all right, we'll drive the ball, kick, get some of your teammates open shots. Maybe they can get it going.
And you mentioned Sugar. 4 points off from the line. He's 0 of 4 from 3, but he's got 4 rebounds and 4 assists tonight.
I mean, when you have 2 guys like Russell and Bamisile filling it up the way they do, you don't really have to. You're not required to do too much scoring.
Doesn't feel like he has to do everything on both ends of the floor.
And that's probably why we see an uptick in his defense.
And being healthy is a factor, too. Dangerous pass by Beck off the inbound. 2 made free throws by Russell. Makes it a 26-point lead as he now has 16. Savage will shoot again and misses the 3.
Gotta do something else, young man.
And an offensive foul called against the Rams. And it's be on Bamboye. And that brings us to the under-12 media timeout. 11:58 to go. Rams in control, leading by 26. VCU leading 49-23 over Merrimack. And now we're going to take a look at our Virginia Credit Union assists of the game. And it's going to come from one Jack Clark.
Jack Clark does a really good job of pushing the pace for VCU and having his head up and finding Bamisile under the basket. Easy two for Bamisile.
Probably the easiest two of the night.
Absolutely.
For Bamisile. That's the Virginia Credit Union assists of the night, benefiting the Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU.
I like to point this out. I just happened to look down the stat sheet. Only Clark for Merrimack has more than one field goal. Everybody else has one field goal.
Yeah. Another turnover by the Warriors. Good play by Trumper to keep it in possession of VCU. Clark is 5 of 10. Beck 1 of 3. Savage 1 of 9. Etumnu 0 of 2. Trumper 1 of 1. Dorsett 0 of 2. And Plotowskis is 0 of 2. That adds up to 8 of 29 from the field. Under 10 to shoot for Phillips. Got his own miss. Shoga for 3. And it's tipped over the backboard by Bamboye out of bounds.
Good offense for VCU. Just unable to knock it down. And Max is pretty cold right now. He's struggling to find a shot.
He's 0 of 5, all from 3. 4 points in 26 minutes. But has played great defense and has also rebounded and found his open teammates. Etumnu guarded by Bamboye. Etumnu for 3. Shoga with his 5th rebound. And there's Bamboye, but he's deflected by, I think, Etumnu, and he'll stay with VCU.
And Bamisile enters the game again, taking the place of Max Shoga.
Bamisile back in with 17 points to lead all scorers.
He's gunning for 20 right now.
Now, we know he can do that. He can fill it up. Bamisile into the lane and got it with the left hand. 19 for Bamisile.
He is like a machine programmed to score.
He averaged 18 this season as Fats Phillips is called for the foul. Only VCU's 4th of the half as Beck will come out and Bud Clark returns to the Warriors lineup. Good hands by Bamisile. Coach Gallo was saying that Clark was being hounded. Tried to go with the lob and taken away by the Warriors.
I like the idea, just poor execution.
Now another switch with Phillips guarding Clark. Shot clock at 10. And Bamboye is called for the foul.
Bud Clark took a shot to the face there. Seems to be all right, though.
Yep. Clark saw 3 different defenders on that possession. I mean, if you're a player, I'm assuming that's how tiresome can that be when you see different guys like that?
Well, I think it's more mentally tiring because, as an offensive player, you want to look and see where your advantages are. But if they keep switching them up, you have to keep programming, okay, how can I score?
That was a 17 foul on VCU with now under 10 minutes to go in the game. And Clark at the line. Already made the first free throw. That's only the 7th point scored by Merrimack in this half. Bamboye will take a seat, replaced by Clark. Hits on both, now with 14 to lead the way. He has more than half of the team's points.
And both freshman guards in right now.
The three missed by Phillips. The tip was no good by Clark. And Merrimack comes back on offense.
Good move. Inside out. Ooh.
Nice move to the cup by Bud Clark.
That was a smooth play right there.
He's got 16 of Merrimack's 27.
Unbelievable.
He scored 19 in the win against Vermont as Clark finishes on the other end for VCU.
Mr. Clark for two.
Only his second made field goal of the night, and that's a 26-point lead. Inside 9 minutes to go here in the second half. Trumper got fouled by Clark and will go to the line for a three-point opportunity.
And Trumper, with the and one opportunity, attempted to make Merrimack great again.
It was bound to happen eventually. They actually gave that foul to Bamisile and not Clark. That's Bamisile's third. It would have been Clark's fourth had it gone on his back. So here's Trumper at the line, completing the three-point play, and now has 9.
And I like the press that Merrimack is applying to VCU right now, making the guards think, trying to speed up the game.
And Hill from distance.
But that's a problem when VCU still hitting threes.
You got ball handlers, you got shooters on the floor right now. All 5 guys can shoot and handle the rock.
Talk about versatility.
This is that small ball lineup with Clark now being at the 5. Here's Bud Clark, tough shot. And they're going to get a foul, I believe, on Trumper, which is his third. And only the 4th team foul on Merrimack. But yeah, you have Hill, Phillips, Bamisile, Jennings, and Clark. The 6'10 grad from Pennsylvania who came to VCU by way of Clemson. He was on their Elite 8 team a year ago. Trumper with good hands comes up with the steal. Trumper got away with a walk as he gets the layup to go. Galloping down the lane for 2 of his 11.
I guess the officials say it's time to go.
Wow. 24-point VCU lead as we're inside of 8 minutes.
They're ready to go home, get a quick meal at Applebee's or something.
Nice look by Hill to Phillips. He is harassed on that baseline. Back out to Hill for 3. And they're going to get a foul on VCU.
And Merrimack's doing a really good job of speeding VCU up right now. It may be a little bit too late, but it is working.
Rams up by 24. 7:25 left in regulation, and VCU leading 56-32. Next home game for the Rams will be this Saturday as they take on Loyola of Maryland. That's a 7 o'clock tip back here at the Stew. And then that MTE event down in Charleston, South Carolina, the multi-team event. They will open up against Seton Hall next Thursday, November 21st, followed by a game on that following Friday. And then they will wrap it up on Sunday, November the 24th. Another opportunity to show a nationwide audience how legit this VCU program is this year.
Absolutely. And as of right now, 3 games in, they look spectacular.
They have the depth. They have the good defense.
They have the experience. They have the guard play.
Rebound by Clark on the second miss by Murray. And there's a possibility, an outside chance, that Zip Jackson could make his season debut down in Charleston next week. He has the sling off as Bamisile is called for a travel. The cast is off. He was able to shoot around this week. So it was a little sore, but once he got going, it felt pretty good. As he told us, it's really now a pain tolerance, how much pain he can deal with, how much soreness he can handle after that.
And I went to VCU shoot around, and I was able to see he was actually getting shots up. So that was good to see. He's making progress. And I'm curious. I really want to see how this works.
Clock draws a foul on
how
Hill.
all this works with the guard play that VCU has.
You would think maybe Jackson comes off the bench to start off because the rotation has been solid through the first 3 games. Get his legs up under him. And then as you get to December, maybe you put him back. You put him in that starting lineup.
That is going to be a problem for Coach Odom. I want no parts.
Because if there's one, I won't say an issue, but I don't know, maybe a concern for Coach Odom is going to be bench points. They've only averaged 13 points off the bench in the 2+ games so far.
But with that being said, I think this is just my opinion, but who am I?
You remember that 2011 Final 14 at Nixon?
I think that Phil Russell will be more of a fit coming off the bench because he's more wired to score. If you need scoring coming off the bench, if that's what you need, then I think Russell's the man for the job.
Here's Jennings. Nice pass to Phillips for the finish. 2 local standouts coming through on that play.
Richmond to Richmond connection.
And here's Clark on the other end over Jennings. And the rebound to Jack Clark. Clark a straight on 3. Jennings up high with a rebound and had it taken away. I think that was Bud Clark who came up with the steal.
Absolutely, but the effort by Jennings is still remarkable.
Plotowskis for 3. Got his own miss. As we're coming up on 6 minutes left in the game. Trumper thought about it against Jack Clark, who has 3 fouls. Down low, and he'll draw another foul on Jack Clark, and that will be his 4th.
Now I have a question for you, Sean. Where was this Trumper when – good find right there. Fats, good cut by Fats. Phillips going back door. Good find by Jennings. But where was this Trumper in the first half where the game was still competitive? Merrimack needed somebody like that to add. I think he just waited a little bit too long to assert himself into this game, at least offensively.
Because like you mentioned, other than Jack Clark, nobody really was able to provide consistent offense for Merrimack. As Trumper made 1 of 2. Between he and Clark, they are 9 of 16 from the field. So those 2 have done it offensively, but just have not gotten the help.
Right.
In tonight's game.
Nobody else took the road trip.
Shot clock is under 10. Bamisile. Phillips for 3. Trumper draws a 5th foul on Clark, and he's gone.
If this was a closer game, you could see someone being upset, but you're up by a large margin. It's still frustrating, however.
Yeah, Clark wasn't happy on that foul. He leads with 5 points, but a team has 7 rebounds in 19 minutes. But back to that offense, the rest of the team, Beck 1 of 3, Savage 1 of 9, Dorsett 0 of 2, Etumnu 0 of 3, Plotowskis 0 of 3. 2 of 20, the rest of the team from the field.
Yikes. It's really hard to win like that. It's really hard to win like that.
Trumper with 1 of 2 free throws and a 21-point lead as we're coming up on money time here in regulation. Bamisile with the miss and Savage the rebound. And VCU with this lead with Shulga only with 4 points. Savage again missing from distance and out of bounds to VCU.
I guess shooters will shoot. I guess shooters will shoot.
Savage is 1 for 10 from 3 tonight.
He really is savage. He just won't stop.
Oh, yeah. Inside 5 minutes. Nice cut again by Phillips, and he draws a foul, and it's on Savage.
But seriously, why won't Savage try to impact the game in another way outside of shooting threes? He has an example of Trumper driving to the cup, getting to the foul line. He just refuses to do so.
Shooter's going to shoot. Off the inbound, Clark and Merrimack on the move. Clark with the floater. And he has 19 to lead the way and is tied with Bamisile for a game high.
And I can see VCU kind of taking their foot off the gas right here, not executing as well as they would like.
Nice look again by Shoga as Bamisile would go to the line, and I think Itumnu and Bamisile bumped knees as he picked up his 3rd foul.
But I will say VCU's doing a really good job of moving without the basketball, especially on the baseline. That's the 3rd time that they've gotten some type of continuity or an open look working the baseline.
This type of game will only help VCU moving forward because you're going to see some teams probably run some type of zone. Maybe not as exotic as Merrimack's 2-3 zone, but you're going to see some type of zone, and this will only help them as you go, especially when A-10 play begins in December on New Year's Eve.
Absolutely. I think the coaching staff did a really good job of scheduling teams with different styles of play. So VCU, by the time they get into conference play, is going to have a good taste of all different styles.
Another heady play by Jennings to keep possession off the miss. 10 to shoot for Bamisile. And Phillips climbs the ladder for an offensive rebound. They've attacked the glass tonight. They are plus 10 on the boards. Here's Phillips underneath. Itumnu comes up with a block and out of bounds to VCU. And that brings us to our final media timeout with VCU leading by 20. 3:39 left in the game, and VCU with a 20-point lead over Merrimack. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, a member of the 2011 Final Four team. Our entire Rams Unlimited crew. Ian Jett directing tonight's broadcast. What has impressed you about VCU tonight, Ed?
There's a list of things, but one, the defensive pressure, forcing 20 turnovers. I like how patient they have been on the offensive end. I like how stingy they've been. Merrimack hasn't really had a chance to get into a groove and find an offensive rhythm outside of Clark. So there's a lot of things to be impressed about. And also, Brandon Jennings is playing great.
If there was we did like an MVP of the game, you would have to put Jennings up there for what he has done. Clark almost got a steal off the inbound. But he's done a little bit of everything to help VCU. Shoga with the shot clock winding down as it goes out of bounds to Merrimack.
But absolutely. I mean, when I do my post-game recap of the VCU games, I always have a low-key player of the game.
Low-key, okay.
And the low-key player of the game is definitely Brandon Jennings. What he's brought to the table, defense, rebounding, extra energy, it's just been excellent.
Clark with a tough shot and the miss by Savage from in tight. Jennings with 5 points tonight, all from the line, with 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Here's Phillips from the corner. Doesn't get the bounce. Long rebound to Dorsett. Up ahead to Savage with Russell guarding him. And good play by Shoga.
Great recovery by VCU. I've just been impressed by so many things by VCU. The effort that they're putting in, even though they're up by 20 right now, they're just doing a really good job of still competing.
I remember Zeb mentioning during media day the energy. Games like this, we can't afford to lose. It cost us last year, and he said we can't do that again this year.
Right.
Dorsett from 3. Back tap and saved by Dorsett to keep possession. Ball on the floor, Shulga and Clark, and Jennings got it. Here is Phillips getting 2 men in the air, and Furman had it blocked by Savage.
But look at this effort.
Here's Trumper, who gets fouled.
You just got to love the effort that both teams are getting right now with 2 minutes left to play. In a game that is, for lack of a better word, over, you just got to love 2 teams competing like this.
Trumper actually does gallop down the lane. He really does. That didn't look to be a wall, but he looks like he gallops down the lane.
Mm-hmm.
Gives that effort.
And I think they just needed more of that earlier.
He's got 15 after that made free throw. As now Hill replaces Shulga. Only 4 points. So last 2 games combined, Shulga has 13 points. And it looked like VCU's going to win both.
Uncharacteristic, but I'm pretty sure he would love to have the wins more so than the points.
16 now for Trumper, above his season average. Scored 11 in the season opening win against Vermont. So now you have Russell, Jennings, Hill, Furman, and Phillips.
Good pass.
Shot clock under 10. Jennings from the elbow. Tip no good.
Look who comes up with it.
And Jennings comes up with the loose ball and a kick by Savage.
I mean, the kid just has a knack for the ball. I don't know how else I can say it. There's no way he should have got that rebound.
We talked about the minutes played this year. He's close. He's at 25 minutes tonight. Furman doesn't get the roll. When Zeb Jackson comes back, you mentioned Coach Odom will have some tough decisions to make about playing time.
Tough decisions. You either go deeper in your bench, or I just don't know what you do.
Phillips with good hands.
Because Jennings is showing that he needs minutes.
Yeah. Shot clock is under 10 for Etumnu. Doesn't get the roll. Furman the rebound. Coming up on 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
Furman. He's cold tonight.
Yeah, he's having a rough night scoring-wise.
Scored 12 against Boston College on Friday as Savage draws a foul, and they're going to use that against Fats. And they're going to call a tech. And they're going to call a tech on Savage, it looks like.
Much to Phil Russell's pleasure. Savage has had a rough night.
We mentioned that at the beginning of the broadcast. A guy like Russell, when you're facing him, he just gets under your skin. He's like that little net that's just like,
absolutely.
I'm just going to be persistent till you break. And Savage broke on that play and got whistled for a T.
But you got to be smarter. Like, Savage is really having a tough night. Couldn't score. Couldn't hit nothing from deep range. He's going to have a long ride back to campus.
That's 18 now for Russell. Bamisile with a game-high 20. So 38 of the 61 for VCU tonight. And on the other end, Savage, who's 1 of 11 from the field, will get 2 free throws on Phillips' 4th foul.
Oof.
Now, usually when you hit the front of the rim, the legs get a little heavy.
The legs are a little bit tired. Now VCU, like I said, they've been pressing them all game, so I can understand.
I think there's a free promotion if Savage had missed that. Somebody, the crowd will get some more free food. We already had a young man hit a half-court shot to get everybody free pizza. But Savage says, I'm going to get that 4th point. As Obi Okafor comes in, making his 2nd appearance on the year, replacing Christian Furman. Okafor wearing number 7. And a good story for him. Missed all of last year with an ACL tear. A walk-on, then got his scholarship a year ago, and now seeing his second game action. Nice pass to Phillips for the finish.
And Jennings does a really good job of that. He could have easily shot that floater. Found fast again for the dunk.
Clark with the miss, and Jennings with his 9th rebound of the night. A career high for him. Rams will go to 3-0 and hold Merrimack to 42 points. Gallo wanted it around 60. He got his wish. But offensively, Merrimack was unable to put the ball in the hoop. Got 42 points as they fall to VCU 63-42. We'll come back to the Siegel Center and wrap it up right after this. Well, VCU improves to 3-0 on the season with a most impressive 63-42 win over Merrimack. Sean Robertson, Ed Nixon, member of the 2011 Final Four team. We want to remind you folks, you have time to buy tickets for Saturday's game against Loyola of Maryland. And for the next 24 hours, if you do buy a ticket for Saturday's game against the Greyhounds, you will get a free support her ticket for the women's game against Temple on Friday night. It's just for the next 24 hours. So starting now until 9 o'clock tomorrow night, you can get a free women's ticket, a free support her ticket, if you buy a men's ticket against Loyola for Saturday. I hope you got all of that. I'll mention it one more time before we head out the door. Final stats presented by the Virginia Credit Union. What stands out, Ed Nixon?
First off, 1,230 rebounds for Loyola stands out to me. But in all seriousness, I just think that VCU's defense really was stifling, stingy, and didn't allow Merrimack to get anything going, and that's why the lead was the lead.
63-42 was the final. VCU now 3-0 on the season as Merrimack falls to 1-1. Next VCU game is Saturday against Loyola. For the next 24 hours, if you buy that men's ticket against Loyola, you'll get a free support her ticket for the women's game against Temple. Should be a big crowd on hand. They hope to break the single game record, attendance record for that game on Friday.